Welcome to Dundark. Last we left off, we had just finished up a scene with Okabe and everyone in the lab, doing some, shenanigans. We also learned about a new epidemic, which was quite interesting, very familiar symptoms. And anyways, so now we're back to a flashback to 1975, with the little girl and Suzuha, just after they time traveled, presumably. The interior of the time machine smelled like metal and was covered in instruments of different sizes. The girl inside was sobbing. It had been almost an hour since Suzuha had left to go look around. She assumed that Kagari would have stopped crying by then, but she had no such luck.
いつまで泣いてるつもりだ。しっかりしなきゃダメだ。まゆ姉さんの気持ちを考えろ。
Aww. Kagari looked up at Suzuha, her face wet with tears.
Mama. だから泣くんじゃない。うっとうしい。でも。
Suzu walked over to Kagari and knelt down, so they'd be at eye level. She had no intention of spoiling her. Her goal was to save billions of lives, and this was her first mission.
いいか？これからはカガリもワルキューレの一員とみなす。私の部下として扱う。非戦闘員じゃないからな。
A member of Valkyrie? What is that? Well, yes, Valkyrie, a demigoddess from Norse mythology. There are many Valkyries, and at least a dozen of them have given names. At least several dozen have given names. They chose who will die on the battlefield and who will be victorious. And they take the souls of those who fought bravely to Valhalla to prepare for the coming Ragnarok. Skuld, one of the three Norns and the goddess of the future, is a Valkyrie. Sorry, what does this have to do with the story?
ここは1975年だ。知ってる人間は誰もいない。父さんもまゆ姉さんも出生してない。つまり、誰も守ってくれないんだ。自分の身を守るのは自分だけだと思え。いいな。
Kagari was a brave girl, and she'd finally realized that now wasn't the best time for tears. She tried to stop crying. It wasn't working well, but it was a lot better for her emotions than sobbing. She was a smart girl. Suzu knew that.
あまり時間がない。この時代の人間にタイムマシンが見つかったら大騒ぎだ。
The machine had landed on the roof of the radio building, which wasn't a spot that people visited often. The chances of anyone finding it were slim. But in this era, they had no one to help them conceal it. That means they couldn't stay long. She needed to finish her mission quickly and move on to the next time period.
何か失敗したら、またタイムマシンで時間を戻ればいいんじゃないの？燃料の問題があるんだ。ジャンプできる回数は無限じゃない。肝心の場面で動作しなかったら話にならない。そうなんだ。立てるか？
Suzu stepped out of the machine and beckoned to Kagari. Aw. She looked surprised. Her eyes were narrowed at the bright sunlight. The sky above Tokyo in this time period was too dirty to be called blue. I don't know, it looks pretty blue to me. Just saying. Smoke and dust clouds filled with who knew what were rising from the rows of smokestacks. It all combined with black exhaust from the cars that scurried along the ground to create a smog so thick you could literally see it. The sky above the city was covered by a veil of death. Wow, they're really downplaying this blue sky. Look at the picture, it's so pretty. I don't see a veil of death. But still, it was the first clear sky that Kaguri had ever seen. She'd only ever known from books and videos that the sky could be this bright. The nuclear weapons used during the Third World War had changed the weather over Tokyo, and their sky was constantly covered in dull gray clouds. The sun's light was always weak when it shone through them, and it was never this bright.
私が子供の頃はまだこんな感じの空だった。少しだけど覚えてるよ。
Suzu looked up at the sky, too.
空気が美味しい。
In 2036, you needed a filter and mask to go outside for any length of time. Compared to that, 1975 was a lot cleaner.
わかるだろ、かがり。父さんたちがどうして世界線の改変に全てをかけていたのか。世界線がどうとか、歴史がどうとか、そんな理屈は後でいい。今はただ、この空の色を守りたいと思えば。
Just focus on protecting the sky. Kaguri slipped her hand into her pocket and took out the faded green Upa keychain. She stared at it with a sad look on her face. She's probably thinking about Mayuri, her mother. And she was probably trying to understand what it meant that her mother had to put her inside the time machine. Oh, okay. Suzu decided that Kaguri was alright now and closed the hatch on the time machine from the outside. The lock flipped automatically. Don't skip syllables. Okay, the only person who could open it now was Suzu, whose biometrics had been loaded into the system ahead of time. Even if someone did find the machine, it would be a while before they found out what it was.
かがり、これを見ろ。
Ooh. Ooh, the IBN 5100 photo. I don't think we've seen this photo exactly.
これ何？ IBN5100 っていうレトロ PC だ。
Yes, for the unfamiliar, it's IBM's first portable computer, which went on sale in 1975. The design includes an integrated monitor and keyboard, and while it is described as portable, it weighs almost 25 kilograms. In the 2000s, John Teeter revealed that there was a special computer language that could only be used on devices of this type, which was not described in the manual. IBM's developers would later admit that he was correct.
私たちの時代に存在していたものはどれも満足に動かない。けど、この時代なら感動品が入手できる。これを手分けして探すのが私とお前の最初のミッションだ。うん。連絡はこれで。
She handed Kakari a small transceiver.
通信できる距離はかなり短いらしいから気休め程度だと思え。オーキードーキー。
オーキードーキー。
90分ごとにこのビルの前に集合。状況を確認。それを繰り返す。いいな。オーキードーキー。いい返事だ。
Good answer. Suzu nodded and patted Kakari on the head.
よし、ミッション開始。
Oh, well, the music just changed a little. Suzu was on top of the radio building in 2010, looking down.
35年か。
I guess the flashback's over, yeah. 35 years. That's how long ago it had been in real time since she'd spoken to Kaguri here. From her perspective, it had only been a few months. The view from up here had changed a lot since then. In the next 26 years, it would change even more. She'd seen for herself how this building changed over the span of 61 years. The thought didn't make her feel sentimental. Instead, she felt the loneliness and fear that comes from having a past not shared with anyone else. Yeah, guess who else has a past that's not shared with anyone else? Using the time machine to change world lines means breaking the rules of the universe. Rentaro Okabe's words flashed through her mind. Oh yeah, that's what he said. Well, he's had some bad experiences with that. Still, lately, she'd be worrying more about Kaguri. She'd been searching the city at regular intervals. She was looking for her, for Kaguri Shina. She didn't even know if she was in Tokyo. She had no clues. She didn't even know what Kaguri looked like now. So maybe it was a waste of time. So I guess Suzu must have lost her. Oh, I mean, that really sucks. Even though she had to find Kaguri herself. But she hadn't had any better luck today. I see. So that's what Suzu has been sort of doing on her spare time, is looking for the little girl who might not be a little girl anymore. She turned around and looked towards the time machine. She would come here every day. Her primary reason was to see if her father, Itaru Hashida, had been here. Anytime she let her guard down, he would come and try to examine it. She told him it would cause a time paradox, but he didn't listen. She needed to keep constant watch. To be honest, she had a lot of things she had to do. And then she heard the metal door to the roof open. Who could that be? Was it her dad? She squinted into the darkness, but the person she saw was much smaller than Itaru, and had cat ears coming out of their head. Is it Ferris? Well, I forget, is Ferris in on everything, or, like, not? I forgot, does Ferris know about the time machine? I mean, I'm just being dumb, but I can't recall. Okay, anyways. Big sis Rumi. Ferris had a spring in her step as she approached Suzu. Of course you're Ferris. Yeah. Ferris's real name was Rumiho Akiha. She was Daru's friend, and had helped them in many different ways in 2036. Also, Ferris is still around. That's interesting. So, Suzu had known her ever since she was very young, and she'd always called her Big Sis Rumi. For whatever reason, in this era, she always wanted to be called Ferris, though. When Suzu asked why, she simply responded, Ferrisu wa Ferrisunya, or something like that. An answer which meant nothing to Suzu. Aww. She knows where Suzu goes to brood. Ferris showed her a cake box with the logo from the maid cafe where she worked. If he ate something like that at this hour, he'd get even fatter. Oh yeah, poor Daru. Gotta lose some weight. Yahoo. Ferris grinned and nudged Suzu in the side with her elbow. Sounds painful. I mean, it's probably not like a hard nudge. That sounds very sweet.
味しそうだにゃ
Ferris opened up the box and showed her what was inside. Suzu could smell the sweet cream and fruit.
さあ、今すぐ美味しく食べるといいにゃ。心置きなく食べるといいにゃ。ほら、あんして。その可愛いお口に食べさせてあげるにゃ。
How can she feed her when she's wearing those like giant gloves? I mean seriously.
冷蔵庫にしまって明日食べる。
His character designs are completely impractical.
すずにゃんはストイックにゃ。
Ferris laughed and handed over the box.
賞味期限は明日だから明日中に食べなきゃダメにゃぞ。ありがとう。どういたしまして。
Ferris gave her a mischievous wink and looked up at the time machine before them.
ダルニャンのタイムマシン研究の方はどうかにゃ。
I mean, I guess she is on everything, but oh well, okay, cool. Neato.
頑張ってはいるみたい。
I guess.
ル
Guess
ミネ
he's
さ
working
ん、
hard.
このマシンまだここに置いておいても。
Suzu looked around the roof as she asked. It was solely thanks to Ferris that no one had really noticed the massive object on the roof. Oh, Ferris made them all not look at it? Oh, right, of course, her family connection. She was the heir to a rich family that had a lot of influence in the area and contributed a lot to the development of Akiba. She was helping to hide the time machine. I mean, doesn't look very hidden.
このフロアというか屋上はフェイリスが借り上げちゃったから平気にゃ。
Oh, Ferris rented out the roof. Well, there you go.
オーナーさんには体感ゲームの研究をしてるって言ってあるにゃ。ちょっと苦しいわけにゃけど。
Oh, a VR game. Well, I can't wait for Steins Gate in VR. I'm super hyped.
助かるよ。気にしないでいいにゃ。この世界のエレメンタルを売薬兵たちの魔の手から救うためなら、フェイリスはいつでも協力するにゃ。
The world's elementals from the Byaki? Oh, it's a Cthulhu mythos thing. They were created by August Derleth, the co-creator of the Cthulhu mythos, along with Lovecraft, of course, and appear in stories such as The House on Kerwin Street. They are described as being chimera-like creatures with around 3 meters tall, with the wings of a pterosaur, the legs of an eagle, and a tail like a bee's. Despite their terrifying appearance, they understand human speech, and if they feel like it's in their best interest, they can even work together with humans. In space, they usually travel at around 1/10 the light speed, but an organ called the Hune in their tail allows them to fly faster than the speed of light. The Byaki are supposedly servants of Hastur, the god of shepherds, a creation of Ambrose Bierce, author of the famous Devil's Dictionary. I probably butchered a bunch of names, and they're not even Japanese this time. It's sad. The 4 elementals are the 4 spirits who control earth, wind, air, and fire. Their existence was first proposed by the Swiss alchemist Paracelsus in his book, The Book of Fairies. He described them as beings not dead, like ghosts, but not alive, like humans, and as being spiritual creatures of an extremely nebulous nature. The author struggled to explain exactly what they were, and in the end decided to classify them as just things. He divided them as follows. The element of earth is controlled by the pygmies of the mountain, or the gnomes. The element of water is controlled by the nymphs of the water, or the Undine. The element of fire is controlled by the salamanders of the fire, or the Vulcans. The element of air is controlled by the sylphs of the wind, or Sylvestris. I'm sorry. Yes, I guess if you played any RPG, you'd be very familiar with these. The author's theory had a big effect on the alchemists and authors both of his own and later generations, who filled in the gaps of his work. In the fantasy genre in particular, elementals have become a mainstay. Oh, no, yeah, and again, in RPGs, but they come from fantasy. That's sort of how it works. Nito.
そう。昔から、いや、今からしたら未来か。思ってたんだけどさ、ルミ姉さんの話って、時々すごく難しくなるんだよね。一体何語？
Sometimes what you say is really hard to understand.
考えるんじゃない。感じるのにゃ。いいやいいや。寒いにゃ。フェイリスはお家に帰ろうかにゃ。
You're wearing like so much clothing though. Like, well, I guess your wrists are exposed a little between if you look at the gloves and the sleeve. But I mean, it looks like you're wearing really, really poofy clothing. So I mean, how cold can you be, really? Although I think she's just trying to get out of conversation. In the end, she could never get an answer. To Suzu, Ferris was always the great mystery.
送っていくよ。一緒に出よう。にゃ、それじゃあついでにうちでご飯も食べてくといいにゃ。
Aw.
そういうつもりで言ったわけじゃないんだけど。どうせ普段大したもの食べてないにゃ。
You never eat any real food. Real food.
スズニャンのストイックさを見てると、フェイリスがなんとかしてあげにゃきゃーって思っちゃうにゃ。
See, that's the thing. If Suzu just ate better, you know, she'd be less edgy. I mean, that's how it works. I mean, I used to be really edgy, but then I started eating good food, and you know, look at me now. We're all good now.
保護欲？母性？とにかくそういうのがかきたてられるのにゃ。私は大丈夫だから。
Before she finished her sentence, she felt someone looking at her. She glanced around. Oh, another person on the roof. This could be a...
どうしたのにゃ?
We got a big kind of a rooftop party here. Giant glyphs. She listened carefully. She definitely heard a faint sound from the direction of the metal door that led to the stairs. It was small enough that Suzu was only able to notice it because of her training.
誰かいる? にゃにゃ.
Is this serious?
話を聞かれた.
Uh-oh. Most of the discussion was worthless, but they talk about the time machine a little. If someone had heard that... Suzu yanked her gun out of her jacket. In an instant, ran towards the stairs as fast as she could. Oh boy. She heard someone running down the stairs as soon as she did. The sound, heavy military boots in a wide stride, got farther and farther away. Heavy military boots? Also, this is like actually serious. This isn't like, like some kind of joke thing like Daru sneaking up on them. They're gonna have some funny scene where he says something stupid and, but this is like real stuff. Real stuff. Someone's very fast, and also in boots. She opened up the door and jumped down onto the landing. Then she raced down the stairs, skipping 3 steps with each stride. But still, it wasn't fast enough. Suzu was born fast, and she'd been trained to be faster. But it wasn't fast enough. She finally made it to the 2nd floor. She could hear the loud revving of a motorcycle. She panicked and slipped on an object that had been left halfway up the stairs, then rolled her way down to the bottom. She managed to get into the right position and protect herself. So it was her hips that struck the ground. She forced herself to stand up and run outside. She could see the taillights of a large motorcycle speeding away. The driver was wearing a black helmet and riding a suit, and already a good distance away, so she couldn't even tell if they were a man or a woman. They revved their engine loudly, and as if to mock her, and then spun around a corner onto Center Street. Someone wearing a riding suit, whatever that is, and a helmet. I mean, that doesn't really tell me much. Not much clues, you know. A little later, Ferris caught up. Hmm. I wonder who that could be. Is it like a friendly person or an enemy? Or someone who we think is friendly but is actually an enemy? Like, I mean, there's a chance it's someone we've already met. I mean, okay. I mean, it could be Moeka, but I didn't think she was fast on her feet. I mean, she could fight, but not that well. Yeah, she was more timid. I don't know. It could be a random person, but it could be, yeah, if it's someone who we met. What if our little scientist friend's actually evil and is also very fast and rides motorcycles? Maybe. I wonder who that could be. I mean, the person who was maybe the person overhearing them wasn't necessarily working with CERN, but I mean, that'd be likely. She put the gun in her hands back in her jacket. She put the gun in her hands back in her jacket holster, and brushed away the hair that sweat had stuck to her brow. I butchered that sentence. She put her gun away and she wiped her brow. That's all the words I needed. Not a civilian. Well, it does, I mean, it could be a rounder. Wonder who it is. It's Fubuki-chan! No, it's... no, probably not. Was there anything on the stairs? Well, like, if it was like a Scooby-Doo kind of thing, it'd be like that, like, sort of like side character who's a little sketch, but, you know, like, but not the obvious one. So maybe, like, it's like someone like, maybe it's like one of Mayuri's friends, like, not Mayuri, not Fubuki, not Yuki, but, like, the other one. The one that isn't important, you know? I don't know. A bag.
多分わざと落としたんだよ。しかも私がそこを通るタイミングでエンジンを空ぶかしした。見事に引っかかったよ。
She thinks it was a trap, the bag on the stairs that she tripped on.
トラップってことかにゃ。ああいうことがとっさにできるっていうのは特殊な訓練を受けてるからだ。じゃなきゃ無理。
Suzu glared in the direction of the bike, that the bike disappeared, and started to think. Who was it? Was it CERN? There was an unofficial... Yeah, there's the Rounders, yes, who are searching for the IBN 5100s in Akiba. Okabe had told her that, but he'd only encountered them in another world line, so who knows, you know?
誰かはわからないけど、私たちの他にタイムマシンのことを知ってる奴がいるのは間違いない。
I don't know who it was, but it's clear that someone other than us knows about the time machine. She probably needs to get everyone together to have a meeting. Like, everyone that's in the know needs to, like, have a little discussion. Especially Okabe. Was it that they knew about it, but weren't going to do anything more? Or did they intend to steal the time machine? Since she did know, she had to assume the worst. Or she wouldn't be prepared to deal with it. She looked up to the sky and sighed. It was becoming a bad habit.
ねえ、ルミ姉さん。このことは、オカリンおじさんには内密にしておいて。
Oh my gosh. No, 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 no. You don't just play the, oh, don't tell them about the people who might want to steal the time machine. You know, that's not something they should know or something. I mean, you know, like, you guys should really talk to each other about things and stuff. And, like, communicate. Because, like, I mean, it's always that the protagonists, they don't communicate with each other, and then something stupid happens because one guy doesn't know what the other person was supposed to tell them. You know, it always happens. Bit of a trope.
今のオカリンおじさんが知ったら、タイムマシンを破壊しろって言いかねない。危険だからって。でしょ？そうにゃけど。私は絶対にマシンを守るよ。シュタインズゲートの入り口へオカリンおじさんを連れて行かなきゃいけないんだから。
Really? You think Okabe would say that? We have to destroy the time machine? You think he'd say that?
それが未来の父さんとの、私をここに送り出してくれた人たちみんなとの約束だからさ。すずにゃ。わかったにゃ。その代わりダルニャにだけはちゃんと話しておくこと。
So, we have to tell Daru. Interesting.
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie. The last part was almost a whisper as her words melted into the Akaba sky. Well, actually that one was a little shorter. That scene was it was only like at like 33 minutes almost here, so that's pretty good. Anyways, I think I'll cut it off here. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you like, you can like. Such a silly phrase. Anyways, I'll see you next time.